This is a story time about how I got pregnant by my side dude.
YouTube, I am your host, Mediocre tutorials and reviews. Back in here with one more video. Guys, you're looking at the thumbnail, you're looking at the title of the video, you already know what time it is. It is time to get active. Now, I'm gonna say this on Jump Street, trigger alert. Found this story, or rather it was sent to me on my Instagram, at Mediocre tutorials and reviews. There's a link down in the description box down below if you guys want to follow me as well as send me fantastic content. Title of the video, I'm pregnant with my side dude's baby. Without further ado.
This is a story time about how I got pregnant by my side dude.
That's not funny.
It's not your usual story. And it's a very true story. I am 35 weeks right now. Today makes it 35 weeks actually.
Okay. First thing, I'm not sure if that was just a nervous laugh at the beginning because you could tell she's not used to doing YouTube videos, or if that's just someone who feels no sadness over the situation. But let's keep going. Let's try to find out more.
It is a girl and her name is Lauren. Overall, let's get into this story. Okay. I was dating a guy for 3 years, but I broke up with him in May of 2015. We were going through issues, had been going through something for about a year. We had been breaking up off and on. Everybody, you get tired of that. You finally have a breaking point. Well, in July, I took the initiative to Zoom 3 hours and 30 minutes away from my hometown. The best thing ever. I started a new job, made new friends. Well, one of these new friends invited me to help her move out of her current living situation to a new situation. And I say a situation because that's what it is. But in the process of helping her move, I was introduced to a guy we work with, which I was kind of crushing on, I can't lie. Didn't really know much about him. Hadn't really took the initiative to say, hey, I'm such and such. Well, there I did take the initiative to say all of that, and he asked me to kind of like take him somewhere, basically to just get away from everybody else. So I did. From that point on, we started kicking it and whatnot. You know, just kicking the shit. Anywho, about 3 or 4 weeks down the road from kicking it, I finally gave him my phone number, and yes, I'm weird like that. I finally gave him my phone number, and we exchanged the numbers.
I'm a little bit confused. So she moved 3.5 hours away. My assumption is the reason why she waited 3 or 4 weeks to give him the number is because she was still in the relationship. So she sounds like a small town girl, moved to a bigger city, more opportunities, got a job, was helping the girl move, and then met the other guy that was at the job while moving. So this is a very confusing story the way she's telling it. Let's keep going.
Well, that led to more kicking it on a deeper level, like a Netflix chill kind of kick it.
Okay.
Which I should have stayed far away from. Now, this is probably like August, like after my birthday. We hadn't really been anything major at this point, but after we exchanged numbers, we did become something major.
How? How are you major after you exchanged phone numbers?
To seeing each other a lot more, and that November I found out I was pregnant. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back.
Yeah, because you missed out.
Because I left some things out.
Yeah.
So, okay. In between the time before I found out I was pregnant and when we started seeing each other heavily without a relationship, I found out this guy was living with a woman. Yeah. He had multiple kids. Yeah.
So you knew that?
he had another girl that worked with me.
It was probably the one that he was helping move. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know if the laughing that she's doing is like a nervous laughing, but here's what it is. It's like the things that we have done within our society to allow this degree of non-shame for the actions that young women are making with dudes who probably are not good options for them. She knew all of these different things and still had unprotected sex with this dude. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know if this laughing is, like, nervous of what she's doing, or she's just like, well, daddy government got me at the end of the day. Child support got me at the end of the day. And then that's just the conclusion. I still want to know, was she really in another relationship during this time? Is that why she's referring to it as a side dude? Or, like, I don't know. Shit, this is a weird story.
Yeah. So, he was a triple threat. Somebody I needed to get rid of as soon as I could, but I didn't.
Why?
Now, let's fast forward back to November. Okay, November 5th, I want to say it was either Thursday or Friday. I can't remember for sure. I go and see the doctor because I had been having a little issues here and there, and I was kind of iffy about what was going on. Now, I know my body well enough to know that it wasn't normal. So I took my little butt to the doctor, and when she comes back in the room, she tells me, she said, when was your last period? And I was like, October, whatever. And she was like, well, you are 5 weeks and 1 day. It got really quiet in the room because me personally, I wasn't ready to hear that because I had my goal of not getting pregnant until I was stable. And at that time, I was not stable. I was so not stable, so far from it. Well, I hit him up and I told him the situation, and he goes, I figured you were. What?
Wait, why are you confused? What? This is lack of accountability 101. She says she's identified all of this shit within the dude and that she wasn't stable, but she was still having unprotected sex in this unstable environment, knowing all of the things that he's going through. He's living with a girl, so you know that he's cheating on the girl with you, right? You know it's not an ideal situation because he has kids already, right? You know all of these different types of things. But when he says something as egregious as, oh, I kind of figured, you look at him like he's crazy. Why are you not protecting yourself? This level of logic will just always escape. It will just always escape me. Both y'all crazy.
Huh? So I stay on the phone for a little bit longer. Then I finally go to his job, and he comes outside and I talk to him, and I'm like literally sitting in my car crying and everything because I'm distraught. I'm like, I'm pregnant with my first child by somebody that I'm not in a relationship with. I'm not married. I'm not any of these things that was on my checklist anyways. Well, he comforts me and consoles me and tells me it's going to be all right, which it ended up being okay, but it was okay on my terms. I did end up coming back home, which
wow.
He's mad about still at this moment. He feels like I'm taking his child away from him, which no, not ever. I would never do such a thing, I promise. I don't have any intentions of keeping her away from him. It was just I couldn't work at the time because I was so sick and I had bills to pay. So once my lease was up, I hauled my butt back home.
Wow.
Everything.
Wow, so she left 3.5 hours away, got knocked up, and then came back. So now the biological father can't be readily with the daughter, the child. Oh, man. Decisions and choices. That's what this life is about. And she talks about it very positively. Your life has changed forever. Listen, at the end of the day, I appreciate her positive tone and outlook on life. But I don't know, right? Like, I would have been mortified. I would have been more than mortified because all of your options and choices in life are significantly reduced. Not even just from like your own life, but then also the options of a mate, of a dating partner into the future, because dudes who do not have kids typically don't want to fund another man's child. Typically, especially those that look at content over in this space, because they're out of the matrix, which tells them you're a man if you fund another man's child subconsciously, subliminally. Let's finish this up.
Thing gets back in order, I will go back. But like I said, it was a rough time for me. Overall, I wanted to bring you guys that story. It is, let me change that. It was a lot funnier thinking about it than it really is.
Yeah, it's not funny.
So if you have a side dude or a side chick, be careful. Be careful. Now, like, I'm not saying he's a bad father because he's cool, but like I said, be careful.
What I get from her personality is that she's extremely positive. She's an extreme optimist. She probably walks around with cup half full type energy. And that's all well and good. But guys, we're all made of our decisions and our choices in life. She chose to do something with a young man while in a relationship, and then the dude was also in a relationship, and then another baby came out of it. So now he's on baby like 3 or 4, and she's on her first. He's already split into a whole bunch of different directions between working, having a relationship, and then other BMs within his life. Now he has another child that's being shipped away 3.5 hours. So then the cycle continues. I think we have to question here, why is she so comfortable in being able to outline all of this information without the fear of shame, without the fear of ridicule? And it's almost as if the way that she's kind of weirdly laughing through that is if she feels no remorse whatsoever for what has taken place. She takes no accountability, right? There's a lack of conviction in the way that she describes the situation, and conviction that it is a bad situation, right? That it's a situation that she should not be in. But even outside of all the positivity, I think that what this represents is not only the lack of accountability in the decisions and the choices that you are making, but it also shows a culture within this culture that propagates, that pushes up single motherhood as if it's not a big deal if it happens to you. No, it is a big deal, and it should be considered a big deal before it actually happens, so you can go into these situations and protect yourself appropriately. What was also interesting is at the end is when she said, if you're a side dude or a side chick, be careful. Like, why is that what you are amounting to to be a side dude or a side chick? Like she said before, you know, she had dreams and ambitions of becoming married. So like, but you knew within the relationship that you was a side chick, and you was already in a relationship with the dude from 3.5 hours ago. Why is that what you want to amount to? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. The one thing that I do fear out of all of this, and this is irrespective of her jovial personality, is that she's now raising a young girl. She's now raising a young daughter. So it's kids raising kids. And she hasn't matured to a stage yet where, you know, as a man, like let's say it was me in this situation, I wouldn't feel necessarily comfortable with the mother beginning to teach the young daughter lessons if this is the way that she makes decisions. Because if she makes decisions when it comes to men and relationships in her womb like this, then oftentimes that inability to strategize is correlated within other ways in her life. I'm gonna leave this video right here for right now. This one, as always, is always a tough one to go through, right? When you're going through these situations and these stories. And I think like at the end of the day, it's important that people continue to put up these stories and these situations so we can all continue to learn from them. I think there's some lessons here for both the women as well as the dudes as well, okay? Questions, comments, concerns? Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Guys, feel free to hit me up. Got a Patreon as well. We are booming up there. Feel free to click the link down in the description box down below to beam up and see the things that we have to store. Our inner circle is growing. The value within it is maturing. I'll see you soon. Until next time, YouTube, peace.